yesterday, man. Kenneth Palmer says, he said, rather have an MC like Kendrick drop every 5 years and make classics than an MC drop one or two projects every year and make just an okay album. Now, you guys say that, but what MC in hip hop has took a 5 year break? You guys are saying this just in like you're not really taking this in context.
They're not thinking about
People don't take 5 year breaks. Please, Kenneth, tell me who took a 5 year break and came back and made a classic.
No, who takes 5 year breaks and keeps their job, keeps the position at their job?
Well, no, I don't even want to say that because they're going to say this is different. But it just is. Let's just say in hip hop, right?
No. Let's say you leave on disability for 5 years from your job. Mike, are you coming back to the same job and the same pay rate after 5 years?
Kristen King says Rakim.
No,
I think we said this in the previous show. Rakim's group broke up. He no longer had a deal. He didn't come back and make a classic either.
I don't care about any of that, Mike. I care about the fact that when he stepped away, he was considered to be the greatest MC of all time. And so thereby he had a right to do that. He was the greatest MC of all time when he stepped away. So if he wanted to step away, that's just fine. People need to stop bringing up that Rakim stuff like it's the same thing. Where's Kendrick's microphone?
Joe Bro says Dre. No, Dre dropped that Aftermath album. What was that? 96? Was that 97? 92, 97? He's not even a rapper, though. Come on, man. Y'all gonna pull Dre out your ass? Like, you know what I'm saying? He's a producer.
No. Ain't nobody trying to hear that either because it's like he was producing, I don't know, Doggy Style. He did shit on All Eyes on Me, Dog Food. Like, no. Stop making it.
And he left Death Row Records, had to start over. Nothing has changed here. Nothing has changed here.
Ridiculous. If one more person brings up Rakim, where's the microphone theme record that Kendrick or J. Cole has? Since we keep talking about Rakim and his 5 year break. And Rakim came back and gave us The Saga Begins, and it's been a long time. Listen to what I'm saying. He better have something like The Saga Begins or It's Been a Long Time.
Nas the Great says Nas took a 6 year break, but when did Nas take a 6 year break? It wasn't in his prime.
It wasn't a 6 year break. It was a 4.5 year break, and it was 5 years.
It was
past his prime. It was 5 years past his prime. He had to go reinvent.
I don't even want to say that. He was like 8 albums in, like 8 or 9 albums in.
He wasn't even 8. He was 5 years past his prime. It was 5 years past his prime. This is ridiculous.
This is insane, man. You guys got to face reality, man. You know, I think it's a strong possibility. And LP said that Snoop got album of the year so far. I think it's a strong possibility, guys, and I know it's really tough to come to grips with. Kendrick might be done. Tell me anybody in hip hop who took a 5 year break and they came back running the game.
How about this? Hold on.
I mean, really? No, let's be real.
No, let's have some. No. I'm about to give people some real life context from somebody who has Nas number 1 on his all time list and has Rakim number 2 on his all time list, and then has Tupac, and then has Biggie, and then has Jay number 5. Let's go back to 1997 and the 18th letter again. Do you want to know what album dropped the same day as the 18th letter in 1997, Mike?
Volume 1.
Volume 1. I went to my man Gary's Austin's house. We both lived right up the street from West Charlotte. He used to have a little Forest Green Trailblazer. He took me to the record store to get both of these albums. I put the Rakim album in. We listened to it. Put the J album in. My man Gary looked at me right now after he heard the first record, which is 1,000,001 Questions in Volume 1. He looked at me and he said, "We put the wrong album in first." And he was right. And that was Jay in 97 on an album that wasn't as good as the previous album. And he on that album is better than Rakim on the 18th letter, outside of It's Been a Long Time, New York, and The Saga Begins. Yeah. And so that guy was the greatest MC of all time. That's why I keep bringing him up. Jay, at the time, was just being considered a top 5, 10 MC, and he was out rapping Rakim on that album. All of you guys that think Kendrick is about to come back and be the same guy, he was not the greatest MC of all time when he left, and that happened to the greatest MC of all time. A guy who I have at number 5 And part of the reason why I have him that high is about this project and what I heard that day in relationship to what I heard to Rakim. Because it was very clear to me that Rakim was still the greatest MC of all the time, but it was very clear to me who was on the horizon.
Madnan says Method Man from 94 to 98. I think we kind of covered this on last episode. If you want to talk about in-between work, we got Liquid Swords work. We got Only Built for Cuban Links work. We got Wu-Tang Forever work. This is between that time period. You got How High. Yeah.
Muddy Waters.
You got Muddy Waters work. You got How High in 96.
So hold on. Mike,
so within this break, what has Kendrick given us?
Hold on. Stop for a second right there. Let's go to the Method Man break. Listen to the classic albums we just named. Hold on. Let's not even go there. It's 94 to 98. Let's actually start appropriately with the first appearance, which is Rawhide, an Old Dirty Bastards album. And then the Purple Tape. And then Liquid Swords. And then Muddy Waters.
Liquid Swords, by the way, hold on. Shadowboxing. I want to be very specific here. Shadowboxing. Has Kendrick given us a shadowboxing in this break? No. I just want to be real.
Let's be specific. Hold on. He's doing the last verse. He's the closer on Rawhide and does the hook to Rawhide on Return to the 36 Chambers. On the Purple Tape, Mike, he's responsible for the two best hooks on the album and one of the best verses on the album on what is arguably the most lyrical album of all time. The most lyrical album of all time. He has the two best hooks on the album, which come at the end of the album. And one of the 5 best verses on the album, on the most lyrical album of all time. And then we can go, Mike, to 1995. He has a hook and a back and forth on Living in the World Today with the Jizza and Mike, and then there's Shadowboxing.
Kenneth Palmer says Black Panther soundtrack. Listen, Black Panther soundtrack and his contribution there was some mid. I mean, let's keep it real, y'all. Y'all not putting that red light, green light. That's not in y'all quotables, is it?
That's not even mid, Mike. That's not even mid. Like that's how Mike. You remember
the Family Ties verse is forgettable. Let's be real.
Hey, you remember the Flim Flam scene where they was like nigga sack D's? It's like that's what the Black Panther soundtrack was. It's like nigga sack D's. That ain't even no mid. It's like nobody even want to cop that. Stop that. What are you talking about?
Yes. Ross also said meth never went away. He was on everything on that All Eyes on Me. He was everywhere.
We're not done yet.
We're not done yet because he's on Muddy Waters too. This is 4 straight classic albums he's on. We talking 95 and 96. He's on Muddy Waters, Do What You Feel. That might be the best verse on the album. Might be by Redman on Do What You Feel. You're talking about that. I be the super lyrical individual. I be spitting through that Teflon material. The blow up pit off the schedule.
Do you want to know why he's rhyming like that?
Because Method Man's on there.
Hello.
Who on a flip with the acrobatic? I love Method Man's part on there, by the way.
I'm not, Mike. We're not done yet. Can I interest? Can we interest people in How High? Can we interest people in How High?
Song changed my life.
Song changed the world, Mike.
Yeah.
One of the best rap songs ever. What are we talking about? Y'all talking about Kendrick Lamar. Show me some evidence. This is Method Man without a rap album from 94 to 98 with evidence all over the place that he's one of the greatest MCs of all time. The evidence is everywhere.
Yeah. J. Mar says, what will classify Kendrick coming back?
We're not. No. I'm not done. He better
Another album will classify him coming back.
Because we haven't gotten to Wu-Tang Forever. The only reason that Triumph even holds up is because he came after Deck. They would have scratched that song. Mike, Deck's verse is so great that if Meth doesn't come with that next verse, you should scrap that record.
I don't agree with that totally, but I feel what you're saying. The fact that Meth came behind that Inspector Deck verse.
Reunited? Like what?
His verse on Reunited is crazy. Yo, Method Man showed out on Wu-Tang Forever. You know, Scary Hours was my shit.
Scary Hours?
Oh my God. I remember sticking fiends at the 162 when we was starving, ducking 5-0, paying them dues. Don't disrespect Method Man like that, talking like this Kendrick break is anything equivalent to his break.
Yeah. Because you want to know what? On Method Man's break, there was all types of evidence of him murdering MCs. You understand that on most of these songs that we're talking about, he's the highlight.
But these are the things that Kendrick promised that he would do on Control. And it never happened.
Which is a song where he doesn't even have the best verse because Jay Electronica has the best verse on that song. And here's what's crazy about it. Mike, We are about to celebrate 2 years of our podcast in about 2 weeks, and it started off with a Jay Electronica review. My biggest critique about Jay Electronica was what? He don't work. He been
I
putting
remember
in
that.
he been putting in more work than Kendrick.
Jay
It's
Electronica has been putting in more work than
it's
Kendrick. That's crazy.
Jay Electronica puts in more work than Kendrick, y'all. Tell me that shit's not embarrassing.
Shout out to Mr. Mill for the super chat. She said the industry and its fans giving Kendrick a level of respect that means he could take long breaks and people will always be interested. The challenge for him will be meeting people's expectations. And I'm glad you said that, and I agree with that. The expectations don't get any easier.
What I'm telling you is that when you don't meet people's expectations, like when your core fans go pick it up and it's not that, it's over. So you should stop playing around like that.
I have a prediction.
You're not rocking on the mic to us.
Ooh, yeah, Method Man on Visions. He killed that too. Listen, I have a prediction. Kendrick's not dropping this year either.
The homicides. 94 to 98 is like a body sheet for Method Man.
Listen,
let me tell you why it's a body sheet. Because he realized that he was up first and didn't get the best shake at it, and he just literally obliterated everything in his path. Kendrick ain't do that. Kendrick's not Method Man. You want to know? We slide him down, Mike. Just this 94, 98 Method Man conversation. I'm sliding him down. 18th Letter came out the same day as Volume 1. Rakim went out rapping Jay in 97. 94 to 98, Method Man is like is a rhyme animal of the highest order. Like, I'm so tired of y'all talking about this shit.
I have a bold prediction. And since people are placing bets out here, and like I said, I appreciate the bet being honored here. Listen, I have a bold prediction. Kendrick's not dropping this year. He's not even dropping in 2022. It's not happening. If you didn't drop with the Super Bowl and all the lights that were on there, it's probably not going to happen. The music he's putting together, at this point, the label's going to just grab your album and put that shit out with the Super Bowl momentum. It's not coming out. They're talking about it might come out this summer. It's not dropping. We might get a 2023. But at that point, y'all Kendrick fans, and I'm a Kendrick fan. I'm going to speak for myself too. We have to gather what we have in Kendrick's catalog, and that's it. It's over. The ride's done.
No, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm talking about. It's like when people be like, "Oh, Kookie be riding out there." It's like, no. Nostradamus is some trash to me. Like that N album, I don't know what the hell he was doing. Streets Disciple, it's like, oh, like yeah, that nigga's definitely like in love and about to get married. He's only in the studio half the time. No, I be honest about the shit.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And it's like you have to be honest about it. This is like Mike. When I want people to understand, we just bought up Method Man tracks and records and contributions to the history of hip hop from 94 to 98 off the top of our head in memory because it's important to the culture.
Yeah. And
I want y'all to name, hold on. I'm literally
that Black Panther soundtrack is not memorable, guys.
I'm about to write these records down while we're finishing up the show, and I want y'all to give me the records during this break. That's what I'm talking about. Because he's not even Method Man. I'm sliding. He's definitely out of my top 10. He's not smoking on my top 5. He needs to drop some shit that's comparable to Damn. That's what needs to be going on. I'm about to start writing
I think that's over, man. I don't even think he's going to drop anything comparable to Damn because the rumor was that he was going to put out a rock and roll album, right?
Where a saga begins on his upcoming album, like Rakim had on the 18th Letter with Pete Rock.
I mean, at this point, just rap, man.
Because I hadn't heard it. Because as soon as the 18th Letter dropped, like every mixtape junkie in the world started putting the Saga Begins on mixtapes because it was, classic instantly. Because he was the greatest MC of all time in 1997 still.
There's two things here, right? There's two things here. And I think that Kendrick is constantly recording because he's a recording artist. My thing is, I think that the music's just not coming together that well. That's number one. And number two is you do have to, at some point, put out records. It's a rhythm. I don't care how great you are. There's a rhythm to it. And when Kanye, as great as Kanye is, when he starts spacing out his material, you see a lack of quality in certain things, right? When the breaks got longer, the quality suffered because you're not in practice. And it's one thing to be in practice of recording stuff and actually putting stuff out. And so the fact that you're taking a 5-year break and we can't really go back in hip-hop history and really identify anybody who was able to recover from a break like that, who doesn't have a ghostwriter, because I know y'all want to say Dr. Dre, but he had some people who were in their prime writing his rhymes, and he had Mailman helping with a lot of stuff too on the production end. As an MC, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. We can't think of anybody who was able to recover like that.
You went out for a second, but you back.
I think you went out for a second too, but nothing went away.
I'm writing all this great Method Man shit down while you're talking, Mike, but that's cool.
Okay, all right, look. Do you have Currency still as album of the year right now?
I need to hear the Conway one more time, but
Okay.
I would probably give Currency the slight nod just because of entertainment value factor. I damn near got a versus worth of material from Method Man from 94 to 98 without an album. You understand
Listen,
that?
man, that's what I was saying when people talking this Busta Rhymes stuff. The real matchup for Busta Rhymes is Method Man. If we want to be totally 100, yeah.
Because here's what we forgot about. If we want to really keep it 94, well, he's on the what too?
It's on the what? Yeah.
I'll Be There For You. Well, there are 3 versions. Hold on, I'm just gonna run down. This is off the top of my head. I'm not looking at anything. Rawhide, Living in the World Today, Shadowboxing, How High, Do What You Feel, Wu Gambino's, Ice Cream, Vision, Scary Hours, Reunited, How High, Bells of War, Triumph, Duck Season, Extortion, Off Hell on Earth, Mobb Deep. Got My Mind Made Up, All Eyes on Me, The What, Ready to Die, I'll Be There For You. He is part of 10 classic rap albums between 94 to 98.
It's fucking amazing.
He's part of about 10 classic rap albums. I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying that. He's a part of Ready to Die. He's a part of the Purple Tape. He's a part of, and when I mean a part, I mean
All Eyes on Me.
You remember his parts on these albums. You remember him on the Purple Tape. You remember him on Liquid Swords. You remember him on All Eyes on Me. And how many people can say they're on a classic Tupac and Biggie album? Raise your motherfucking hand.
I think he has my personal favorite verse on All Eyes on Me. That verse was nuts. Fuck you losers. Why you fake jacks? I make maneuvers.
This is without his biggest song, which is I'll Be There For You, which is there's the Takal version, the Razor Sharp version, and then the Puff version. All of the versions are great versions. One of the versions went #1. One of the versions went triple platinum. Other version was on #1 on all the BET channels for like months on end. That's what his break looks like. While you keep talking about Kendrick, shut up.
Kendrick's. Hey, yo, man, the Kendrick fans is going to ride on this. Listen, we're Kendrick fans.
Ride on what?
I have said Kendrick is top 10. Coop wrote an article. Y'all could go to accordingtohiphop.com and y'all could search Kendrick. No, Coop wrote an article about Kendrick being top 10 when Damn came out. So we're all in Kendrick's corner. And I've always told people I didn't think that J. Cole was even on Kendrick's level because of Section 80, Damn, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Good Kid, Mad City. I've said these things, but we have to be realistic here. We got to be realistic here. All right, so where do you put Conway on an all-time list? Because I know people want to know.
Top 20. Top 20? Top 20, top 25, yes.
Darnell Lee said something very fair. He said that, oh, shoot, hold on. I almost banned you, Darnell, pressing the wrong button. He said, we need to end this K-Dot debate until he drops some official music. People need to call their favorite artists mid-verses as well. Yeah. Need to call out the artists as mid-verses, man, because that Black Panther stuff ain't it. That Family Ties ain't it. And you know what? And that ain't even an opinion. That's my opinion. But let's look at the game. And let's look at, did that shift anything? Did Family Ties shift anything? Let's be real.
Smart.
So top 20, right? So what would be your justification on that? His catalog, lyrical skill, his versatility, game-changing ability? Like, is that where we're at with it?
Yeah, I think the only thing that he's missing is the impact, actually. I think he hasn't been as
I think that's a machine thing. No pun intended.
Well, no, not really. And so this is why I always go back to Prodigy. Prodigy is really like the guy who he reminds me of, and you know how I feel about Prodigy. Prodigy was able to impact this culture without ever having to diversify or be that guy. So he is still missing something. Because Shook One's Part 2 and Quiet Storm exists. Mike, give up the goods. exist. Like those records, P on those records. P on those records is so chilling.
Quiet Storm.
Even though that you know that he's not Big or Nas or Jay, you feel like he's right there.
Oh, he's something.
And he's right.
Yeah, he's something.
He's something, Mike. And Conway don't have that. But Prodigy's really the only guy I've ever heard talk that had it like that, where it's like, well, I know he's not as lyrically as good, but what he does, I'll put him up against that guy, even though that guy's gonna come in second. You know, like he can never be Nas lyrically, but he would say some stuff that it's like, well, Nas ain't gonna make me feel that way though.
Oh no, I feel what you're saying.
You
Obviously,
know? That nighttime vulture shit, it's like Nas's stories ain't like that. Where you're talking about vague memories of last night, now it's all dawning. Look down and seen dry blood all on my garments. It stained up my guest farmers, colored enormous. I hopped up, hot on my bed, holding my head. Flashbacks, gunshots flashed past my head. I could recall an 8-man brawl, 3-man fall. Bullets flew, had to drag my hand behind the wall. Left a wet trail, delivered these slugs like air mail.
Hey.
Had to let my man blood spill. An eye for an eye, you know my science of life. Is you man of mice, thugs are the cowardly type. He say that shit that stay with you your whole life. Conway don't have that yet, but he got everything else.
Mad Max says that Conway is in his top 50. I want to know all the people that you got ahead of Conway and why. DeCarlo, shout out to you for the super chat again. He said, if Conway can be top 20, then Big can definitely be top 1. Still have yet to hear a better MC than Big with 2 albums. I want to go into that because, I was talking to Juice today, who has a podcast coming up as well. And I don't know how old Juice is. He has to be under 25, I believe. But he said that Biggie is not in his top. He said that, you can't be a top MC with 2 albums. And what I said about Biggie, I said, listen, you would be far-fetched to find anybody in music that did more with 2 albums than Biggie. If you cut people off at the knees 2 albums, their material doesn't last as long as Biggie's have. Now, I will give Biggie that. I do agree with the 2 album thing to an extent, but what Biggie did with 2 albums was special because, again, Biggie gave us like 20 joints that we're going to hear from here on out in that 2 album span with other features and things of that nature. I don't want to pick on anybody, but since we just got through talking about the MC, Biggie has more long-lasting material, song-wise, than Kendrick Lamar has with just 2 albums.
Hold on. Can we stop for a second? Let's take a pause. Right now, as we stand today, if Kendrick were to go up against Biggie in a versus, he wouldn't win on any level.
He wouldn't. And I'm not just saying that as an old nigga or whatever. You know what I mean?
No. As in, we could leave Biggie singles off and Kendrick would still lose. Like, I can give you 20 Biggie songs that never got released on radio officially, and they're still better than Kendrick's 20 best songs. So, like, when you that's why I'm saying when y'all are talking about him this way,
yeah,
like, no, fam. Like, no, like, I know who he is too, but it's like the way y'all talking, because here's the thing about it. I want you to listen to this, and I just wrote this down off the top of my head right now. Let's go ahead and do it.
You want to do a Kendrick and Biggie versus with Kendrick's 5 projects and Biggie's 2?
I do, but here's what we're going to do before that. KRS-One's first 2 projects with Boogie Down Productions are By Any Means Necessary and Criminal Minded. Those are classic albums, so you can cut him off at the hip right there. He's still all-time great. Rakim's first 2 projects, Paid in Full and Follow the Leader, Mike. You can cut him off right there. Still all-time great. Nas's first 2 projects, Illmatic and It Was Written. You can cut him off at the hip right there. Still all-time great. Biggie's first 2 projects, Ready to Die, Life After Death. You can cut him off the hip right after there. He's all-time great. Mike, name Kendrick and J. Cole's first 2 projects and tell me you can cut them off at the hip. That's what the fuck I'm talking about when they need to stop talking this shit.
Well, I don't know if that's fair because we could say the same thing about Pac, right? You know what I mean? Like, we cut Pac off at the first 2.
Pac is the MC, but Pac as an MC is not where these guys are lyrically as MCs. Like, I have Pac where I have him because literally nobody has impacted the culture and represents this culture and inside and outside of this culture more than him. Like, he is a one of one in this.
It's very different, yes.
Yeah, he. How about this?
I
In
think
this
him and
culture,
Kanye are very different
no,
individuals.
How about this? In this culture, if we're picking one of ones, it goes Tupac, then Kanye.
I agree.
But he is the
In
one
that
of,
order.
and his records, and listen to what I'm saying. His records, even though he is not the MC that any of the guys around him are, he can fade all of those guys with his records. What does that say about him?
Now I will say that
What does that say
Tupac's
about him?
Tupac's records
Tupac's
are
records,
strong.
Tupac's records are
I
strong.
think Tupac could possibly even beat Biggie in the verses.
He can, because here's the thing. Like my
Yeah.
favorite Biggie record is My Downfall, but my favorite Tupac record is So Many Tears. If they go up against each other, it's So Many Tears.
Listen, I love Big, and I think Big is probably the most rounded MC skill set that
All
I've
around.
ever heard.
Mhm.
Biggie ain't got no Dear Mamas.
Nope.
He don't.
Nope. Nope. How about this, Mike? Dear Mama's the one record that if you play it after Biggie plays One More Chance, you're like, well, damn, Big lost that record. How did he lose that record?
And One More Chance is one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time, in my opinion.
No, it is. Like, if you play it up against Nothing But a G Thing, it's better. You play it up against I'll Be There For You. You play it up against everything except for Dear Mama, it's a better record because Pac got you. And ain't no getting out of that.
Ain't no getting out of Dear Mama. That's one of the best hip hop songs ever made.
Right. Here's a better comp for One More Chance. California Love, but that's like Pac's fourth or fifth best record.
I think One More Chance wins that, but yeah, I mean, I don't. You could even do a Pac versus without California Love, to be perfectly honest. I mean, LP just mentioned Pain and stuff like that.
Pour out a little liquor.
Yeah, pour out a little liquor. You know what I mean? Like, or even if you do like an MC Breed, Gotta Get Mine or something like.
No, it's everywhere.
To me, I think I Get Around's more timeless than California Love. To me.
Actually, I mean, truthfully, I think Ambitions as a Rider is really the song on that album that has really stayed up. Like, Mike, you know they play Ambitions as a Rider on the radio in Cali like it's a single, right?
I bet. I mean, I like Live and Die in L.A., too.
That's what I'm saying. Where you want to go? Mike, me and my girlfriend.